Scene/Chapter 3. This is how we live. The shower is big enough for three. Back at their apartment the fun continues. The world outside looks dismal. However, the shower beckons. They arrive back in the residence hotel, park the car and go up in the lift. They all are laughing about the night as they enter the large, open-plan, suite apartment, way at their home temple, and throw off their clothes as they go, the girls putting on short silk kimonos. Bob goes to his workstation and fingerprint flash scans it with 4 fingers and it bursts into action. Near him are broadcast news cameras on tripods with a green screen backdrop pinned to the wall behind a desk. He puts on 3D goggles and waves a 3D mouse wand around the pictures in front of him, repositioning them. The girls are giggling in the kitchen and Siri opens a bottle and Pooh comes out of the kitchen and puts a grape in Bob's mouth, then takes it out and eats it, offers another, then eats it too, and runs into the bathroom giggling. The girls are Bob's partners and not pickups, not what they appear to be at the Hoy bar. Pooh goes into the big smoked glass shower and turns on the overhead storm shower, and side sprays splash against her streamlined body, silhouetted and pressed occasionally against the glass as she splashes around laughing and giggling. Siri gives Bob a glass of booze and then goes to the bathroom to join Pooh. They both can be seen soaping each other in silhouette through the glass, and this is reflected in a large wall mirror to where Bob is sitting. He makes a naughty smile while looking at them. Bob turns back to his screen as it comes to life with news update feeds scrolling across the screen, and he looks back at the mirror at squeals of fun and splashes of soap bubbles coming from the bathroom. He stands up and then hesitates at what appears to be his news report being aired, and then goes and joins them, flicking on some bubbly music from a remote as he walks to the bathroom. As he enters the bathroom, the same wall mirror reflects newsreel of the high-profile CEO woman and her entourage they saw before at an awards ceremony appearing on screen. As he moves away, he is getting a brief glimpse of what appears to be them peering directly at him through the screen, and a blurred voice of them saying Bob as a distorted chorus, flange that makes him stop but not turn back, and then continues to the shower and joins in the fun soap suds and screams. He throws his pants out of the bathroom door and gets into the shower to more screams, slaps and soap flying about everywhere, their bodies pressing and sliding over the glass walls. After a soapy and very steamy fun session in the shower, Bob leaves the girls and goes back to his desk wrapped in a towel. The girls continue playing and conditioning each other's hair in the big bathroom, which is awash in soap suds. The outside world is not looking so good as his 3D screen pops up more alarming news pictures. As they are displayed around him, he looks more and more concerned and absorbed in what he sees of collapsing central systems and finance corporations. Pictures scroll by of skirmishes and bombs, institution lethargy, inactive leadership, procrastination, pollution, drought, starvation, religious unrest with many minority false flag and reality show dorks distractions, etc. He laughs at a title which says The Age of Idiocy, a reality with movie A-listers scorning the likes of the Kardashians and other dumbass, low culture, reality, TLC lowbrow, TMZ gossip and D-channel superstars. The kind of reality celebrities like many skanky ex-models with collapsed plastic surgery and the so-called retired porn stars, all mixed together with outrageous gay and transsexual celebrity rent boys and girls. Their reality sales pitch not reflecting that of any real-world reality, but having huge popularity and so a huge assistance to propaganda, creating social failure without any control whatsoever. All of this added together with other news of intransigent leaders standing in photo session groups, talking but doing nothing proactive to solve removing the sources of any of the increasing potentially life and social community threatening activities appear. Titles like The Days of Dead Diplomacy, More Talk No Do, The Method of Job Creation, Chit Chat Follow the Rat, Let's Talk for Lunch, If We Get It Done We Won't Be Needed Anymore. There are even some aviation and leading CEOs identified as trying to make money out of poverty and starvation, etc., making Bob grimace with anger. He writes in a screen note, "The protection racket is where a person, gangster group, mob or government, indicates that they could protect a store, or country and its citizens, from potential damage, but actually inflict damage to that same person or group indirectly by giving money or aid to aggressive organizations or countries to cause damage." While the correlation of threat and protection may be more or less deniably veiled, distinguishing it from the more direct act of extortion is now glaringly obvious. More and more historical examples of this disgusting behavior are available on the web, with more and more governments abusing their powers in order to keep themselves in business to the detriment of the people they are supposed to provide with a stable and secure infrastructure. This is the work of tyrants and dictators whose armies and secret police oppress the population while extorting their taxes, the act of Nazis and Stalinists. Racketeering is often associated with organized crime, and more governments appear to be doing this. Research into the group theory of population, being that the group falls to the lowest common denominator based on numbers of lower intelligence being greater than higher, by a convincing 85% being less than 100 IQ, that emphasizes the childish pleasure principle of the group and its childish reliance on a parent. Unfortunately, a few animals prefer to take advantage of the parent position and use their family by selling their daughters with a dower to support their selfish greed. This is a perfect reason to go off-grid when one's whole psyche is reacting badly against being part of the greater swamp. Bob notes his need to get away from it all. To create dissent is the social sabotage on which collecting from the winners and the losers is the main act of capitalism. Unfortunately, it has no future once all resources are either destroyed or stolen. Creating a system of winners and losers is totally antisocial and regressive. Bob looks away from his notes as the girls come out of the shower and get onto the bed and start communicating without speaking or using sign language while combing their long hair, but laughing at each other as they use body language to show they are understanding each other. Their identical ovarian-level tattoos being displayed in more detail without the shower soap and spray covering them. The tattoos are similar to some indigenous rainforest tribe tattoos and are very distinctive, arranged around identical scars. He looks on at them, envious of their mind connection. He taps his finger impatiently on the desk as he wants to be like them. He says, "What are you saying? How do you do that?" They say, "We are talking, can't you hear?" and giggle. Bob says, "Stop expecting me to know what you are thinking." He pauses. "Why do you do that? You girls are always expect me to know what you are saying, but only speaking half the sentence without giving context or perspective of what you are saying. It's usual to put what you are going to talk about at the beginning." He gets a typical Thai "why not?" in unison. The Thai phrase for "it's the obvious thing to do." He says, "Because I can't understand, I have to keep asking you what on earth you are talking about sometimes." The girls follow up with an "up to you," meaning it does not bother them, and say it's okay. "We can feel the chi within you and what you want to say," and giggle. They say, "We feel like we are living inside each other. Isn't it normal?" Bob says, "You girls appear connected like twins or similar to the members of the Borg collective in Star Trek Voyager. I want to join." Although brain implants have been tested at university research level to good effect, full enter-brain ICT connectivity hasn't happened yet, even though tests are positive, and, after all, it does have an alternative clandestine potential. In the Blade Runner story, the Nexus and fighting units in the Soldier story had huge physical potential, but they were not human mind evolved, having their background childhood memories implanted within them that they eventually realized that they had no history. They were given false memory implants and GMO-enhanced physical prowess only. They became the physically fittest. Stories of the typical sad misuse of Darwin's studies in what is called social Darwinism, survival of the fittest, that is truly an antisocial adaptation to a false paradigm based on dominant greed. It is certainly effective and apparent within the realms of non-thinking organism, both lower form animals and some humans. The girls appear to have evolved into high-level mentally adaptive beings. Bob assumes it is the part of the world they have come from which has revered in a development for many thousands of years BCE, before the Western governments ever started pumping the LSD hallucinogen onto the streets when it escaped from armed forces security and opened the minds of the West in the 1960s, and was soon squashed by the right wing as being dangerous to have a population with an open mind of its own. After, if everybody was a shaman, then the government would have no control. The part of the world the girls come from is where human evolution has taken different directions, creating alternative haplogenetic breeds, some would call races of human beings. An example are the Moken boat people, who have evolved as one of the distinctive special Southeast Asian tribal groups. The Moken have specially evolved eyes that allow them to focus their eyes underwater and be able to hold their breath for extended time without having any difficulty. Back at his workstation, Bob watches a long series of global destruction. Slide headlines on a 3D carousel display showing extreme weather and stories of virgin births to mice, pregnant South American boys having the fetus removed, presidential promotion of genetic research, social dissent, GMO corporations and human genome, and promotion of human brain activity research. It causes Bob to look at it in disgust and to turn away and look at the girls with an inquisitive gaze. He gets some apparent subliminal teaser clips pop up into the screen of women aged 25-35 in strong corporate positions that makes him lean into the 3D displays and then stand up. He walks away, turning his back on the workstation and the screen. The news items continue to flicker as he gets into bed with his girls, kisses, cuddles, and they drift off to sleep. It appears that a group is drawing closer to him by their pictures staring out of the screen on the workstation out of their view as they go to sleep.